It's almost more than a year we witnessed. It's almost more than a year we witnessing this COVID pandemic, and still we are not sure that how many days, how many months it's going to remain, or is to remain permanently in our society. So it's a we are don't know. We still don't know third wave is going to come, when it's going to come. That hardly matters. Here on the total case ratio, find we are on the second place after United States, although the positivity index has significantly come down in the last 1 month. See, still the matter of concern of Kerala and Maharashtra in the term of the positivity rate. So we have to be much more cautious regarding this ongoing pandemic infection. I'm very much thankful to all the media, either it's a print media, the social media, or TV media, regarding the awareness regarding either it's a social distancing, mask, vaccination program, so that at least we are able to reach a certain goal where 62, as a reported 62 to 68% of our population have the seropositive ratio, where we are moving towards the herd immunity, and we feel that if the herd immunity is achieved, the chances of the third wave will be on the very, very minor sides. So awareness nowadays, see, before 1 year or 2 years, nobody was knowing this remdesivir, tocilizumab, or amphotericin B, or black fungus, or this mucormycosis infection. But now, if we'll ask, out of 10, at least 7 people will know regarding the remdesivir injections, or black fungus, or the complications of the COVID infection. What are the available on the any of the networking sites? See, purpose of today meet is, yes, one of the extension of awareness program which is being initiated by the public, by the social media, by the print media, and by all other organizations. In this view, we are going to discuss few are the complications of COVID which is less known to the society, and we were going to focus the advanced treatment plan and share some happy moments of our patients who has all available, or what complications of COVID is there, is suffered through all the complications of COVID and defying all odds. He is sitting here with his family members, his brother, mother and father, and his all the supporting systems or maternal uncles are there. So, well known to everyone, this COVID-19 infection leads to the severe lung pneumonia, mucormycosis or black fungus, stroke in term of either it's a hemorrhagic or ischemic stroke, septicemia, and brain hemorrhage. So here I present Mr. Balwinder Singh. He developed pneumonia initially, then developed the lung infections, not ventilated, he recovered from that stage. Then in the duration of same time, he developed mucormycosis, for which our ENT doctor did the surgery, the FS was done. After this recovered from black fungus, next he developed strokes, small ischemic stroke in the brain. And on the same day where he was getting treatment for the fine-minded stroke, he had sudden severe headache, and in casualty, he came in the unconscious state along with seizures or fits, what we call these fits. So we are going to discuss, because he had suffered all the problems, right from pneumonia, black fungus, then the ischemic stroke, and second and last, he's developed the pneumonitis, aspiration pneumonitis, and septicemia, and defying every complications within the 4-week to 6-week time, is recovered quite well and discharged from the hospital. So we are going to discuss today one of the major complications which is not known, that we called as a development of aneurysm by involvement of this mucormycosis or black fungus to the major artery of brain. So at the day in evening, he had a very severe headache, and after the headache, he had vomiting and throws fits. Came to the casualty in unconscious state, where we had to put a tube, put on the ventilator, and the CT scan was done. And this scan and this was the CT scan which shows the diffuse hemorrhage inside the brain with stuck water channel were also we called as a hydrocephalus. Patient was unconscious, his neurological score was very, very poor. So we discussed with the family member and we have to decide the operation plan. Mean the same time we get the CT angio and in the, do you have the pointer? No pointer? So you can see that one side on the right side we have, this is the CT angio and this is the conventional digital or the brain angiogram. In this area we see this is the basilar artery which supplies the major part of our brain stem, where this part of this area has become wicked or widened and developed into the wide aneurysm formation of about 10, 11 millimeter size on all the directions. Same corresponding image is on this side. You can see this is the nose area where the fungus infection was there, and this is the artery which is involved. This is the large segment involving weakness and aneurysm formation. So this is two collaborative images are there. So treatment plan to save the patient, save the life. That was much more important there. So he died because he admitted in the late evening, about 7 or 8 o'clock. So first surgery I did, it's an emergency putting a ventricular tube, small tube put inside the brain so that the water and the brain water and whatever the blood is there, it will slowly drain it out. So night it was done about 11 o'clock or 11:30. In the morning we did angiogram, cerebral angiogram, and this was the angiogram. You can see this is the CT angiogram. This is the normal DSA or digital subtraction angiogram, showing the large size of arterial wall weakness along with the aneurysm formations, where in the same area the nose where the sinuses or fungal infection was there. So what after doing the surgery at night, he was still on the ventilator. So morning we discussed with the family member regarding the pros and others, what will the complications, what will the survival rate and everything. We decided to next plan of this aneurysm or definitive plan. So there is a two is there. One is the surgical obliteration, which is in this case is it's not feasible, and the chances of complication is very high in the surgical. Results are very poor in surgery. So we plan to put a flow diverter. Basically, the flow diverter is a modified stent which divert flow from the aneurysm to the main artery. We'll show you the picture in next, which helps in the slowly progressive thrombosis of the aneurysm sac, and later after 3 to 6 month time the repair of the aneurysmal wall. So this is image also. What will happen? This is one main artery where blood flow like this. If something weakness develops, this will go inside, and this aneurysm rupture that causes brain hemorrhage. So the type of this is called as a flow diverter. It is like same like the cardiac stent, or brain stent, but modified. It's where the crisscross nickel fibers are make the flow away from. So what will happen? The flow from this aneurysm, it will go to the normal patent artery. After certain period of time, this aneurysm will get thrombosed, and then the wall will be repaired, because it's a big segment of basilar arteries involved. So what we did, first we put the flow diverter, and along with this, because this area was very thinned out and ruptured and brain hemorrhage, so we put some coils, that is called the platinum coils in that, so that temporary arrest of this blood hemorrhage, and then now the restored flow in the normal artery. This is animatic representation of flow diverter. How it's a divert. So we approach in any for neurovascular or cardiovascular approach is there either from the groin area or from the radial artery. We proceed from the femoral artery in groin. We put the microcatheters there up to the crossing the aneurysm site, and they deployed. This is the same looking what we call as a flow diverter, where exactly measuring the size, about 4 or 5 millimeter above the aneurysm and lower the aneurysm, covering the neck. So this in this video, there's a what other mixed with this. We put another catheter, the same type of micro catheter we kept inside this aneurysm, and put some coils to arrest the hemorrhage and the chances of, because this flow diverter will divert the flow, and it will take about minimal to 3 to 6 month time to repair of this arterial wall and complete obliteration of aneurysm. This is the procedural picture where you can see this is the area with the first picture, and this is the coils, and after putting the coils you can see the thrombosis start. And here to here, this is the area where we put this flow diverter. In the next picture, in last picture, you can see, right? This is the coils, and you can mark it out, the mesh-like structure from here to here, top to bottom area, and that is the flow diverter area. This is magnified image same. You can see this device which is being deployed from above the area of marked thickness wall. This area was basically the aneurysm area. So we will start from deploying here up to this area, and after that one microcatheter is here from which we put the microcollective coils inside the aneurysm. And this was a final picture where we see the maximum amount of the aneurysm sac is obliterated. All the major vessels of the brain is preserved, apart all along the artery where the area of weakened wall was there, and apart from the upper areas with major bifurcations. So procedure was done well. He was the next day, patient was conscious. On the second day we extubated the patients. But we find out he having the very high respiratory rate. His saturation was going down. So we repeated his chest CT and the chest X-ray. This is the chest X-ray. We find out he has aspirated his vomitus during the fits, and he's a post-COVID patient. So there was a multiple patchy involvement whole of the lung area. So in the post-operative time, after 2 days time, he started running the fever, gone into the sepsis. So we have to prevent the other problem, the sepsis, that we called as the multiple organ dysfunctions, for which their high antibiotic was started, and slowly within 3 to 2 weeks time, he was quite well. He was shifted to room, rehabilitation started, and he was discharged in good neurological things. He is sitting with you with some of the mild things. Very up and down happens during the 4 weeks time, but ultimate goal is there with a good neurological recovery, defying all odds and complications of COVID. He is sitting, which is a very, very rare thing of pneumonia, then fungus infection, then after stroke, and then the brain hemorrhage due to the aneurysm rupture. In spite of that, he has such a good recovery. There are few patients still, which is like Balvinder Singh, surviving, sitting as a normal, and I hope that very soon he is going to perform his normal duty and normal work. So thank you, my emergency department, ENT Dr. Dheeraj, physicians, pulmonary department, critical care, my anesthesia colleague, and radiology departments. Overall, I thanks to the family member of Gurmeet, Dr. Baldev, for his supports all throughout this hospital period, his brother, his maternal uncle, and all other who has supported as mentally or financially to the family members during this period of time for such a good and nice recovery. And at last, I thank you all my media friends on this rainy and busy day. You are here to share some of our happy moments. Thank you very much.